Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, I'm creating a card with October's stamp and die of the month. This one is so adorable. It's called Ghostly Greetings. Here is the stamp set. You get 3 adorable ghost images. You also get lots of greetings. You get Ghostly, Boo, Bootiful, and Happy Halloween. And it has really cute stars that go with it. Here is the Shabby Snips coordinating dies, and it cuts out every single stamp, even all of the sentiments, which I love that it does that. I'm also going to be using last month's stamp and die of the month. I already created a card with this one, and I'll link that, but this one is called Autumn Fun. And I'm going to be using the pumpkin from this one. So here are the stamps and dies I'm going to be using. I'm also going to pull in a die set from my favorite things. This is called Out of the Box Dynamics, and this is going to be a pop-up card. So I'm going to start by stamping out all of my images and coloring them in. I pulled out my Misty to do the stamping, and the paper I'm using is from Spectrum Noir, and it's just an alcohol-friendly paper. So I'm going to stamp out all of the images as well as all of the sentiments. I'll arrange them all on this piece of white paper, making sure to leave a little bit of room around each one so that I can cut them out, and there'll be plenty of room to tape on the dies. I'll be using some Copic-friendly black ink. It's from Simon Says Stamp, and it's just called Intense Black Ink. This is the kind of ink you do have to build up, so I stamped it out a few times. But I'm just going to show one stamping. And I'm trying to find my ink here on my very messy desk. It's about time I need to start tidying up my craft room. But let's ink this up several times. And since I did end up inking the paper so many times, I'm going to let it dry for just a minute so that my images don't bleed when I pull out my Copic markers. Now, I watched Jamie, the owner of the Not Too Shabby shop, put together a really cute card using this stamp set. And she used her Copic markers, but she did a technique called glazing. So she started out with some warm gray Copic markers, and then she went over it with a purple Copic, and it gave it just the cutest touch of purple. It gave the hat so much interest. So I thought I would try that. I pulled out my neutral grays because I just love my neutrals the best. But I thought I would try this with a pink because I just adore anything pink. I'm also going to use a purple on 2 of the other hats. So I'm starting out with my darkest Copic marker and just kind of flicking around the edges. And then I come in with my N5 and bring the coloring out just a little bit more. I don't have all of the neutral grays, so I am skipping a color here, but it works out just fine. And then once I have that put down, I'm going to come in with an N4 and do the same thing, just bringing out the coloring a little bit more. Then I'm coming in with my N2 and covering up the rest of the hat. You can see how it's really pale there, a pale highlight down the center of the hat. And so I chose an RV02 marker to go over the whole hat again. And I just love that little touch of highlighted pink. So I'll color in the star with some yellows and the band with a darker RV06 marker, as well as a RV04 and RV02, just to keep a highlight in the middle. And the ghost, I'm just using some more grays to add a shadow. And then I'll color in the pumpkin with 3 different colors of orange. That ghost is so cute, holding that little pumpkin bucket. I'm going to do the rest of my coloring off camera, just for the sake of time. I will link to Jamie's video where she showed this fun technique. When I'm done with all of my coloring, I do like to pop it back in my Misty just to freshen the lines. So I'm going to ink it up again. And I forgot to stamp out my pumpkin, so I am going to do that off camera as well and color it in the same way I colored in the little jack-o'-lantern Halloween bucket. But this makes such a big difference, I think, to make the lines just pop again. Okay, so here are all of my images cut out. I'm just going to pop them out of the dies. I like to tape down my dies really well so that they don't shift when I run them through my die cutting machine. So here are all of the cute little images and sentiments. And then I can pull the dies off of this sheet of paper and put them on the really nice sheet of magnet that they came on. You can buy this stamp all by itself, or you can buy it with the dies. And if you do buy it as a subscription, you're guaranteed to get this stamp set every single month, as well as a discount price. So now let's start building the base of this card. And again, I'm using my favorite things outside the box dies. I need to snip all of these pieces apart. And I'm just going to cut out the box with black paper, but I pulled in some pattern paper from my favorite things. This one was called Lazy Day Basics. And I really love this purple and pink piece here. They look like party lanterns to me, so that's why I used it. And I thought the pink and purple would go perfectly with the little ghost hats. So I have all of my pieces ready to go, and I just need to start gluing down the pattern paper. I've been having so much fun making these pop-up cards lately. I used last month's stamp of the month and created a pop-up card using some Scrappy Tells dies. But it's so much fun to send these out in the mail because they mail out flat, and then when your recipient opens them, it kind of pops up into a box. So I'm gluing down the decorative pieces on the black cardstock. And these dies emboss folding lines into them so that they're easy to bend and fold. I'll put the little rectangle box together first. And I like to press it down flat to make sure that it will lay flat in the card. Now let's do the second side. You could do this with double-sided adhesive if you prefer that. Now, next, let's glue on the backing. And I'll fold it over again just to make sure it fits. I cut out some grass using some Lawn Fawn grass dye, and I'm going to glue that to the insert pieces. Then I can just cut off the overhang. But this grass makes it look really cute underneath the ghosts. I'll use more liquid glue to glue in these inserts. And then I'm just going to hold them with my fingers for just a minute until they dry. But look how cute that looks popping out of the box. That bright green grass. Now for the next one, I'm just putting 2 inserts inside this box, but you can put as many as you'd like. Next, I'm going to glue my sentiment on the front of this box. I'm using the one that says Happy Halloween. Look at the cute little stars that you can color in on this sentiment. I'll add more sentiments in just a minute, but first I wanted to start adding all of my ghosts and different elements to the box. So I'm using the dies that cut out some tall, narrow strips of paper, and I'll use black cardstock again for that. I have a little Sizzix die cut machine that I keep on my desk. I use this a lot. So let's cut out a bunch of these strips of paper. You could, of course, just use your paper trimmer to do this, but I liked using the dies because they're all the same width. I'll glue the ghosts onto these strips of paper, and then this will give them a little bit of height on the box. I didn't stay within the box. I added a lot of my elements taller. So my card won't fit inside an A2 sized envelope, but it will fit in a larger one. I wanted some of my images to stand up a little bit taller than the height of the box and have some of them sticking out like these cute little stars here. So I'm just going to glue all of my images behind the grass. The little pumpkin will go in the front. I want to be sure that you can see all of these images from the front of the box. But you can put your box together however you'd like, of course. So now let's put some images on the side. This one says ghostly. And the other one, the last one I'm going to use, says beautiful. And I'll just glue that down on the other side. And then I used the sentiment that says boo inside the box. And that's all there is to it. Here's a close-up look at the finished box card. Isn't that so much fun? This was really fast and fun to put together. I'll have the links to all of the stamps and dies of the month that I used to create this card listed in the description box below if you'd like to go over to the Not Too Shabby shop and check them out. So I'm just trying to turn this card around so that you can see all of the sides. You could write your message on the back with a white gel pen, or you could even glue a piece of white cardstock back there to write it with just a regular pen if you'd like. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope that you were inspired, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.